Thank you for joining us today for part 2 of the Mauget How to Microinject training for your applicator certification. Today we will be covering the use of Mauget capsules in detail. Tools. Here is a quick reminder of the tools needed to get started. Mauget capsules, cordless drill, 11/64 inch high helix drill bit, tape measure, rubber mallet, personal protective equipment. An additional 11/64 inch high helix drill bit is helpful to have on hand, and we will discuss why later. Personal protective equipment includes chemical-resistant gloves, protective eyewear, long-sleeved shirt, long pants, shoes, and socks. Optional tools. As discussed previously, in the tools section of the training, you may find these additional tools helpful. For complete details, you can review the tools presentation, Part 4, in the Mauget training series. Drilling into the tree. Once you have calculated the number of capsules, arrange them around the base of the tree where you plan to inject. Check for wounds and areas that need to be avoided. Adjust the distance between capsules so they are evenly spaced, approximately 5 to 6 inches apart. Now, drill into the base of the tree at a 45-degree angle. Run the drill forward at a constant, steady, high speed until the proper depth is reached. Do not stop or reverse the drill. Pull the drill out while it is still running in the forward setting. This will help pull the shavings out of the injection hole. Care should be taken to drill into the tree to a depth just sufficient enough to enter the conductive tissue. Drilling technique. Look for sites between bark. Depth will vary from species to species. Ring-porous trees. Drill into the current year xylem tissue, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch deep. Diffuse-porous and non-porous trees. Drill into the outer 3 growth rings, 3/8 to 1/2 inch deep. What to look for. Look for moist, white wood shavings on your drill bit. You will feel more resistance on the drill as it contacts the harder xylem tissue. Drilling too deep or too shallow may result in ineffective control. Remember, the material can only work if it enters live, healthy tissue. What if drill depth is off? It is better to drill a little too deep than to drill too shallow. If the drilling is a little too deep, the chemical will still be taken up into the tree, but the uptake and distribution in the tree will not be optimal. When drilling is too shallow, the injection hole might not be deep enough for tapered feeder tube to properly seal, resulting in leakage. With practice, you will quickly learn how to drill to the right depth for injection on the different tree species. Feeder tubes. The feeder tube is narrower at the beveled end and gradually becomes wider towards the collar end. The feeder tube's tapered end allows it to seat tightly into the pre-drilled hole, creating a good seal. There are different sizes of feeder tubes. The standard size feeder tubes are 2 3/4 inches and will be included with each quarter flat of product. The larger feeder tubes are used for pines, palms, and other trees with thick bark. The micro-mini feeder tube is for small and thin bark trees, with holes made from 7/64 inch drill bit. Setting the capsule. There are several ways to get the capsules ready to inject. Some applicators like to have all the capsules and feeder tubes put together without breaking the seal and insert the feeder tube with a capsule attached into the injection site. Some pressurize the capsule before it is placed on the feeder tube, not breaking the seal until the feeder tube is set in the tree. As we get to the compression steps, you will start to get an idea of which method might work best for you. Using the insertion tool. Some applicators use the insertion tool to place the feeder tube in the tree in order to make sure the feeder tube is free from wood or other debris. This is especially important when using the micro mini feeder tube. Place the feeder tube with the insertion tool into the drilled hole. Attach the feeder tube with the V-notch gun sight on top, keeping the beveled or pointed end at a 45-degree angle inside the tree. Carefully remove the insertion tool from within the feeder tube. Now you are ready for the capsule. As you can see in the photo, the insertion tool can only be used if the capsules are placed on the feeder tube after the feeder tube is inserted into the tree. Pressuring the capsule. You can pressurize the capsule either before or after placing it on the feeder tube. The capsule can be compressed in one of two ways: by pressing down on the lid with both thumbs until it snaps 3 times, so you know it is locked in place, or pressuring the capsule by using a Mauget compression tool. When having to treat large numbers of trees, the compression tool can be very helpful. In both cases, you will feel the 3-step Versa-Lock lid locking down in place. The capsule can be pressurized before or after it has been seated on the feeder tube. Whether using the compression tool or compressing by hand, carefully compress the capsule until the lid has snapped into place. Your ability to compress the capsule and experience will help you decide which method will be most comfortable for you. Place capsule on feeder tube. Place the insertion hole of the upright capsule onto the gun sight end of the feeder tube. Make sure the V-notch on the feeder tube is always straight up, regardless of which method you use. Setting the capsule. The capsule can be set either by using the heel of your hand or by using a rubber mallet. The striking platform provides a large and stable target. One sharp tap with the mallet is usually all it takes to break the seal and seat the capsule. Hint: even if you put the tubes and capsules together before inserting them into the tree, you will still need to tap the capsule since you have not broken the seal yet. Capsule collar. Be sure that the capsule collar is flush with the feeder tube gun sight. If needed, tap lightly once again. Make sure there is chemical in the feeder tube. Also make sure there is not any chemical leaking from the injection site. If there is leakage, carefully remove the capsule and drill a new injection site. Allow capsule to drain. Leave the capsule on the tree until the capsule and feeder tube are empty. If you see an air bubble or the liquid has not filled the feeder tube, you can tap lightly on the bottom of the capsule to dislodge any air or bubble. It is important to note the drainage rate will vary depending on the species of tree, time of year, and environmental conditions. Rotate the capsule to see if any liquid is left inside. Leave the capsule on the tree until both the capsule and the feeder tube are empty. This could take anywhere from 10 minutes to several hours. This is very important as the standard feeder tube will hold up to 1 milliliter of product. What influences uptake time? As discussed in the tree physiology section, there are many factors involved in the uptake of material. Species of tree: ring-porous xylem, diffuse-porous xylem, health of tree, leaf surface, injection technique, time of day, soil moisture, weather conditions such as temperature, humidity, air movement, sunshine. Experience with injecting different trees under various circumstances will help you determine how long it will take for the capsules to drain. Ring-porous trees will uptake faster than diffuse-porous trees. Healthy trees will uptake faster than trees that are under stress. The greater the leaf surface, the faster the uptake. The best time of day to inject is during the morning hours. Weather conditions probably have the greatest impact on uptake. Warmer temperatures speed up the uptake process when there is an adequate soil moisture and low humidity. Air movement, such as wind, also increases uptake. Sunshine causes faster uptake than overcast, cloudy conditions. Adequate soil moisture will speed up the uptake process. Turning the capsule. Before removing the capsule, turn it upside down for 60 seconds, so any remaining contents will drain to the lower part of the capsule. Turning the capsule over allows you to determine if any residue chemical is left in the capsule. Rotating the capsule also moves the contents to the lid and away from the feeder tube opening. If the capsule has not drained, you can turn it back over to continue draining or decide to reset the capsule in another location. Removing the capsule. When the capsule and feeder tube have emptied, remove them by placing one hand in front of the capsule like a shield. Remove the feeder tube and capsule together with the other hand. This will protect you from a possible splashback of material remaining in the feeder tube. If the feeder tube resists removal from the tree, use pliers, pulling feeder tube straight out. Do not wiggle or bend back and forth to dislodge. This could enlarge the injection site and delay closing of the wound. Reusing an undrained capsule. If the capsule did not drain, it can be reused in a new location. Drill a new hole. Carefully remove the capsule. Keep the feeder tube pointing upward so that the chemical will drain into the capsule. Quickly insert in the new location. Placing an additional capsule. There may be times when two treatments are needed, such as fertilizer and insecticide, fertilizer and fungicide, or insecticide and fungicide. If two treatments are needed, the same hole can be used to inject the second chemical. Before removing the first set of capsules, prepare the second set of capsules. When you remove the first capsule and feeder tube, immediately insert the new capsule and feeder tube. Follow the same instructions as above for setting the capsule. Disposal. Place the empty capsules and feeder tubes in a heavy plastic bag. Do not use cloth or paper bags for used or empty capsules. Dispose of the empty capsules in accordance with your state and local regulations. Make sure the bag is securely tied or sealed before transport or disposal. Do not carry in the passenger compartment of your vehicle. Different systems. In addition to capsules, Mauget also offers many of our products in 1-liter bottles, referred to as HP. These bottles are designed to be used in most reloadable injection systems. Mauget recommends the ChemJet or Smart Shot for ease of use. It is important to remember that doses and number of injection sites will remain the same whether you are using a reloadable system or capsules. Spacing the injection sites around the tree will ensure the treatment reaches all parts of the tree. ChemJet. The ChemJet is a reloadable tree injection system. It is made of rugged plastic and may be reused for many years with proper care. The ChemJet is much easier to use than most other reloadable trunk injection systems. It can inject up to 20 milliliters per injection site. The ChemJet uses an 11/64-inch injection hole, the same as Mauget capsules. It injects at a higher pressure for larger volumes, which will equate to faster injection time. ChemJet. The ChemJet is easy to use. Prime the ChemJet by pulling the red plunger up and down several times. Remove cap from the liquid loadable HP bottle. Replace cap with quick draw attachment. Push tube into the cap, reducing the outside length to roughly 1 1/2 inches. Insert the ChemJet nozzle firmly into the quick draw hose. ChemJet continued. Pull the red plunger handle to draw the desired amount of chemical. up to 20 milliliters. Lock the handle with a 1/4 turn. Carefully remove the ChemJet from the quick draw attachment. Working your way around the tree space injection sites, approximately 6 inches apart. It may be helpful to mark the injection sites with chalk or other marker before drilling to ensure they are evenly spaced around the tree. Drill the injection hole into the tree. ChemJet continued. Hold the ChemJet body firmly. Push the nozzle tip into the hole. Do not twist or push on the red handle. The injector nozzle should be set firmly into the injection hole to prevent leakage. ChemJet continued. Hold the ChemJet body firmly with one hand and turn the plunger 1/4 turn with the other hand. The plunger will push the chemical into the xylem. It may take from 5 to 25 minutes for the ChemJet to fully discharge into the tree, depending on the translocation rate. Always clean the ChemJet before putting it away by flushing it with a cleaning solution. Before removing the ChemJet, pull the red plunger handle back to prevent any remaining chemical from spraying out of the nozzle. Carefully twist the nozzle out of the hole. Smart Shot. The Smart Shot is another reloadable tree injection system that is easy to use. There are 2 different Smart Shot models. One model injects either 3 or 6 milliliters per injection. The other model injects either 5 or 10 milliliters per injection. The Smart Shot injection procedure is very similar to the ChemJet procedure, except the Smart Shot uses a 7/64 inch injection hole and comes with 2 preset dosage choices. The Smart Shot uses a 7/64 inch injection hole, making a smaller hole than other methods. It injects larger volumes at a higher pressure, which equates to shorter injection time. Disinfecting drill bits. Drilling may spread disease from one tree to another. Always disinfect the drill bit before using it on another tree, preventing possible transfer of diseases. Drill bits can be easily disinfected by spraying them with a disinfectant or dipping the drill bit in common household bleach, 1 part bleach to 10 parts water, or cleaning with a disinfectant wipe. How often should I change the drill bit? A drill bit should be replaced when it is no longer sharp. We recommend keeping extras on hand to avoid any delays on the job site. After drilling a hole, look for the sawdust pigtail, indicating the wood was cut with a sharp drill bit. Thank you for watching this section of the Applicator certification training. The next presentation in the series is conifers.